What's going on, y'all? It's currently Saturday. Um, I have two gigs tonight. I have We All Scream from 10 p.m. till 4-ish. Then I have Cheap Shot for after hours that goes until 5, maybe 6. So that's a whole lot of DJing. That's every Saturday. I do split the We All Scream gig with Andy Uops. We do it as the Trash Pandas. Um, Shout out to everybody that has supported us in the past and continues to support us. But I like to take Saturday, which is probably the wrong thing to do, as a day to kind of go through new music. So go through my record pools and pull new music. I also do this during the week, but I like doing it on Saturday too because, of course, gig last night, Commonwealth downtown, where I've been at for a long time, and I love that place. But I kind of use that. I know it's the wrong thing to say, but like as the warm up to the weekend, where I know that room so well that I can go through a lot of like the motions of things that I know work, but I also use it as a grounds to kind of try new things, and then also see where there's holes in my approach and holes in my set. So I kind of take the feedback and take mental notes Friday night, and then on Saturday, during the day, I try to either think of new setups for how I want to do blends and mixes or like little mini sets, or think of what songs am I missing. Maybe Andy will play something because I also DJ with him on Fridays, that I haven't thought of incorporating, and I can think of something adjacent to that to kind of add to what I would play on Saturday. We All Scream is a much busier spot. It's a lot bigger of a club, and it's a bigger, a little bit younger room. So there's just like any other gig, there's things that work in some rooms that won't work in another, and vice versa. So I know for We All Scream, I have to have a little bit more energy, and I need to sometimes quick mix, but sometimes they just want to sit in a pocket. And because it's such a long gig from 10 p.m. to 4 in the morning, that you know I have a lot of time to run through the gamut of what I need to play. So I like taking Saturday to kind of fill in those gaps, going through record pools. Now, one thing I will say, if you're subscribed to a lot of the record pools online, Headliner Music Club, DJ City, BPM Supreme, My MP3 pool, you'll notice a lot of the major record pools no longer have a lot of the big songs, and that's due to issues with the major record labels. Like for instance, if you type in like Doja Cat into most record pools, you won't find new songs because they record labels have decided they don't want them on record pools anymore, and they pulled the songs. But that's where, for me, Beat Source comes into play. I Full disclosure, I am part of the Beat Source Street team, but where I use Beat Source now is they have pretty much all the songs you'd find on, like, say, like a Spotify or Apple Music, especially songs that you won't find on other record pools. I like using them. I like using BeatSource specifically because I can get those songs, and there is also like intro edits and stuff like that which can come in handy. But for stuff that I can't get on my other record pools, it's a great resource to get those songs. And number two, because it's a streaming service, the artists get paid when you play their music, which I think is awesome. That's not something that a lot of DJs really care about, but I care about. You know, at the end of the day, we're playing other people's music, excluding like your own productions and stuff. If you do that for people, and yeah, it's promo and whatever the case, whatever the reasoning was back in the day. But now there's a way for the artist to get paid for us playing their music, which I think is tight. Now, one drawback I will say is that the gigs that I want to play on sticks, on USB sticks using CDJs, because I've been relying on Rekordbox, because I've been relying on BeatSource so often for the past year or so, there is gaps in my library where if I had my computer plugged in with Serato, and because there's an offline locker and I don't have to be connected to the internet all the time, I have those songs in Serato. But with Rekordbox, I don't. And yes, I know the new 3000s have the ability to use streaming services if they're hardwired into internet, but the majority of venues out there don't have hardwired internet in the venue, especially to the DJ setup. And now I really, really fingers crossed hope that Pioneer adds Wi-Fi to the CDJs, because I would, in a second, just hotspot my phone and log into my record or into BeatSource using that all the time. So what I've been doing now recently is that I like the curated playlist that BeatSource has. It's a really good resource as far as like they have everything categorized into different categories, like such as like open format or like R&B or whatever the case is, and it's really easy to see what songs that their curators think are going to be hot. And BeatSource is, all the playlists are made by other working DJs, which in my opinion is going to be a better resource than a playlist made by a playlist maker for say like Spotify or Apple Music. Now what I'll do is that I'll, throw some of these playlists into my offline locker. I'll try them out a couple times, definitely more than once, see which ones hit. And if it does hit, then I'll go back and either buy the song from like Apple Music or something like that, then throw that into my library. So I do have it in Rekordbox. Yeah, it's a little bit more cumbersome than just being able to do it and grab the song from a record pool, but those days are sadly behind us for the most part if you're getting the music legally. Yeah, you can rip tracks off of places, but on a big system, you definitely can hear the difference. So I would definitely stray away from doing that. But not knocking anybody that doesn't have the resources and you want to play music. If you don't have the resources, you don't. But if you can do it, I mean, invest in yourself. That's number one always. With be it your music library, be it your laptop, be it whatever piece of gear, piece of technology that you need to do this, you should invest in yourself. It'll make you go further in this career. But like I was saying, definitely, if you haven't tried BeatSource yet, try it. Or even if you don't want to try it, or you don't want to pay for a subscription, or you've already used your 30 days, dude, just go to the website, look at the playlists that they have, and then go into your streaming service of choice like Spotify or Apple Music and listen to the songs. And then find your way of getting the music off of those playlists. But the number one thing, like I said, are the playlists on BeatSource and the ability to see playlists curated by other DJs. It opens up ideas and just opens your mind up to music that you haven't heard before, especially new music. They're always adding new music because it's a live streaming service. Things that came out, like this Jack Harlow song that just came out this past week, it's already on here. Things like that. All the new stuff is going to be on here, so they add it into different playlists pretty quickly. They have this thing called the 20. That's like new songs that they think are going to be hot. I always check it every week, and they catalog it every week, which is awesome. Just go through this stuff. I mean, even if you don't want to pay for it, just the ability to see playlists that are curated by other DJs will, just like in my previous video where I talked about listening and watching other DJs play, this is kind of like a not as effective version of that, by seeing other DJs' playlists and seeing what they think are going to be hot, going through that music and spending the time researching and seeing what could fit into what you like to play in the venues that you like to play at. and grabbing that music and making your own setups and mini sets and just expanding yourself as a DJ, I think is super duper important. I will say that the actual DJing and getting behind the decks is the easy part once you get to a certain level or get a certain amount of experience. It's taking the time, finding the music, putting the music and organizing it for a way that's effective for you, and coming up with different combinations of songs. That's the hard part of DJing nowadays, with how easy it is technically. So, man, take the time, put in the effort, do the research, use the tools that are available to you. And like I said, free resource, man. Great playlist by tons of different genres, from anything from like Afrobeat to Amapiano to reggaeton to country music. It's all on here, curated by DJs that play those specific genres. And even if you don't subscribe, it's a great resource just to get ideas. So if you haven't, check it out. I'll catch you guys tomorrow. Peace.